that's a mistake. That's 2010. 2010 will be around 2,500. And in India, the latest census, which has just been announced this week, reckons there are about 1,400 in our whole country. And if we go on at this rate, we basically find ourselves, these are the figures more or less for India, that by the year 2025, business continues as usual, they will be. Two things. Do we have to have business as usual? I don't believe so. But if we just leave things as they are, you can reckon that during our lifetimes, people sitting in this room, there will be no more time. An animal that's been around for millions of years in our lifetime. That's where they are, spread all over the country. But it turns out there are only 4 areas, maybe 5 if you really push your luck, where there's a viable population of 260 or more times. Censuses have been taken. India got very worried about this, thanks primarily to Kailash Sankhala and his campaign. In 1972, they realized that they were really hitting rock bottom and took a lot of measures to try and improve the situation. And over the years, as you can see, things improved a little bit, but there has been, again, a crash. So the poor animal is basically trying to survive. Why is the tiger vanishing? Well, certainly there's poaching, probably at the moment, the number one issue. We don't allow hunting, but we've got people who want to take the tiger for various reasons. Habitat destruction, large part of the major decline in the middle of the century was that. Habitats destroyed because they need more land for agriculture, for making cities, roads, mining, quarrying, deforestation, etc. There is some amount of animal conflict when animals start treading on the toes of people, they shoot them. And then there's poor infrastructure. And the biggest problem with the infrastructure, as I'll show you in a minute, is the corridor problem. When the habitats become fragmented, they have too little space to move around in and find prey and lead the kinds of leisurely life. I'm not sure the democratic kinds are, because tigers by their nature are a bit monarchical, but they do need space. And they like lots of prey, and this is a picture of the poaching, and this is a picture of habitat destruction, and here is a picture of the corridors. Unless they can roam around and suddenly not come to a stop because their habitats can close off, they will not be able to grow. So, thanks to Kailash Sankhala, whom I was very privileged to know when I was working in government a long, long time ago, and the Tiger Trust that he set up, and the people who followed him in keeping this message alive, and of course to WWF and the many other NGOs in our country that are deeply concerned with this set of issues. We realized that it's not enough to put fences around tigers. It won't work. Tigers won't survive. They need space, but they also need mates. They need to breed. They need to propagate their species. And in order to do that, they have to be able to travel, move. I believe personally that the issues that we're dealing with today, whether it's the economy or the environment or virtually anything else, are because of the patterns of development that we've chosen. And the root causes are really where we're going to have to look. And I'm going to spend a few minutes sharing with you what I think are some of the root causes and some of the real possible solutions that can get us out of the mess that we're in. These are examples. I mean, these are basically just to give you an impression of how complicated life is. This is a set of charts which show that biodiversity is in very serious trouble. Look at the bottom left-hand one. It shows you that the red list of IUCN, which lists endangered species, is increasing at a phenomenal rate. More and more species are being added to it because there are more and more present. Similarly, the one at the very top right shows you that in the last few decades, this planet has started making extinct species at a rate it has never ever done in 4.5 billion years of history. The highest rate of extinction ever is now taking place. It's partly caused by our own actions. And what are we losing? We're losing tiger, we're losing all sorts of other things. I don't know how many of you know this. I suppose anybody who reads news, I'm not going to assume that anybody's been in a cave for the last few years. Everybody knows that the vulture is virtually gone because of chemicals that we feed to our cattle. And the vulture goes, you get lots of other problems. Just for one, you get feral dogs to come and do their work and eat the carcasses and so on. And that leads to rabies. And that leads to all kinds of other things. So it's not as if it's just, oh, bachara, species gone. It's a high impact issue where a species disappears for all of us. Because the whole of the ecosystem is interdependent and in ways that we don't even know. We can protect them, we can make national parks. India has about 5%, 4.5% of its area under national parks. The world has 12.5%. India is doing pretty well given the amount of people we have. But supposing you do make these national parks more and more, how long can you protect them? How many policemen are we going to have? Guards going to have? Ultimately, they run into the problem that we have a very densely populated country. And the tiger is not actually being killed in the park, nor is the vulture. They're being killed outside the parks. So you can have as many parks as you want, but basically, you've got to deal with the remaining habitat. Countryside, the cities where all of us live. Deal with us if we're going to deal with a viable population. This is pictures of different corals at different levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. As you all know, we're now killing off the planet because of our combusting so much fossil fuels. And if the temperature rises by 1 degree, you can see roughly what happens to corals. If it rises by 2 degrees, which a lot of people are complaining that the Indian government is now sort of committed itself to, well, that's what happens. And by the time you get to about 3 or 4 degrees, you're finished. And corals are where the fish breed. That's where fisheries come from. And if they go, you have no idea what else happens. But I will give you some ideas. Conservation, not protection, conservation. Conservation of the diversity of biological systems, of living things, and of ecosystems. That's what basically we have to do if we're going to save the tiger. The long way around, and you may well say, well, you know, this one is in such threat, we must now do it. Well, unfortunately, the whole history of independent India is about dealing with urgent issues, forgetting the important ones. And we've got to now take a step